What's going on, guys? What's cracking? Working in here in the garage today. So I might as well go ahead and get into this because you're not going to see this first upload or everything yet. I don't think. If this is, please correct me. But we've already started the turbo kit, which if you can tell right now, it looks sick, right? But it's not done. There's a few complications we're running into here. I'm working with Powerhouse Racing and Real Street to go over them. So it's not done yet. But now we've got this we ran into while we're looking into this. I found two issues. One, my power steering's leaking, and I think my T56 Magnum's leaking. I think. We're gonna go over here, make sure, but I'm pretty sure they're both leaking. Well, I know the power steering is, so I went and got mine. I didn't know what size I needed, so I went and got two different sizes here. If you guys didn't know, for your power steering, it uses automatic trans fluid, and power steering fluid and automatic trans fluid are pretty much the same thing. I didn't know what size line I needed, but if you do get it, make sure you get automatic trans line. Don't get just regular rubber hose. It will deteriorate and it will leak even faster. So I went ahead and got this. I'm gonna go hook this up. I gotta take off the one wheel on the driver's side here. You can see I have a Powerhouse Racing overflow tank here. If I can get down there, the line right there, there's a leak coming from the very top and it's going the whole way down. I can see the clamp in there is actually moist or wet. You can see where the line runs the whole way down and there's fluid dripping at the bottom. But to get better access, we're going to take this wheel off so we can see things a little bit easier. So let's go ahead and get this wheel off and I'll show you where it's leaking at. Alright guys, so you can see right there, that is the actual return line for the power steering. So with that there, it is going the whole way up here to the bottom of this can. Can you guys even see it here? Right there. That little line right there is where we're going to. And it's leaking right from that hose clamp. So I'm not sure if the clamp itself caused the issue or not. I'm gonna have to look into it here. I have some factory style fittings I can use because I think maybe that ate into it some, maybe caused it to leak if I have the clamp down too far or whatnot. Not really 100% sure, but I'm gonna take it apart here and we're gonna drain the fluid out because it's the only way to do it and hope for the best. So I got the old hose off there. It was cracked up top here. It went down the bottom. So I've got a new one that's actually thicker, should be a little bit nicer too. It is a 3/8 hose that goes down to the power steering there. I'm hoping this one doesn't crack because that was on there for 4 years, I think 4 or 5 years, and I think the clamp I used or whatever caused the issue, but we'll see here. I'm gonna try snugging this on quick and hopefully this one doesn't leak. All right guys, we've got the new line in now. You can see I've cut and trimmed that one there. Got the new line in there, looking perfect. One thing I wanted to show you guys too, since I have this Powerhouse Racing tank, inside of it here, you'll see a little filter. If you have a factory one, they don't have this. And I highly recommend just going to this Powerhouse Racing, not for just aesthetics. I mean, it does look nice, but that's beside the point. This little filter is nice to have. My car had power steering wine, and I flushed it, and I still couldn't get it perfect. Like, it still was whining and whining and whining, and I had no idea why. Well, after looking into it, I put a Powerhouse Racing tank on it, and one day it got real loud. So I opened it up, I took the filter out, and it was black, like black. There's a stainless steel filter in there. It caught all the dirt that's been circling through. Took that out, sprayed it out with brake cleaner, put it back in, flushed the system again, and it hasn't done it since. And I just checked it here, had a little bit of dirt on it, not much. I just sprayed it with brake cleaner again to clean out the filter. But I highly recommend it because realistically, these power steering pumps don't usually go bad. What kills them is them getting dirty. The factory system isn't a sealed top like this is. If you see here, this actually has an O-ring on it. Uses a spring to hold down that filter too, which is a pretty innovative design. I like that idea. But it just makes it nice because now the pump doesn't whine. I don't have to worry about contamination getting through the system. Just makes it easy. Oh, if you're also doing this, don't forget, this does not use power steering fluid. It uses automatic transmission fluid, which I have over here. I believe it uses from the book, I think it's Dextron 3 or 2 is what it recommends, but anything above that obviously is okay. You never want to go back, so if it says Dextron 2, you don't want to use Dextron 1. You can always go up, but you can't go back. So make sure you remember that, and make sure you remember the fact that you use automatic trans fluid and not power steering fluid. All right, guys, now that we have finished and we have fixed the power steering fluid, the other thing I wanted to show you guys that I went ahead and did, which if you saw my last video, you know why this is all apart now. I went ahead and ran vacuum lines or boost lines to my Mac valve. I had a ton of people when I posted up on Facebook ask about this little mount here. That mount, believe it or not, is just a regular piece of aluminum I got from Lowe's. Drilled it out, and you can see where I actually made an accidental drill mark that was too far up. Had to make another one back, and then just tapped it for these 2 small bolts. I forget what the size even was, and then just mounted it there. It's nothing special, nothing crazy, but it works, and it keeps the wiring really short. I don't have to run the wiring over here or put it back there. I like how clean this looks over here now. I hate when you mount them here. I just think it looks ugly, and I can run the one line down underneath. I ran underneath even the drain line here. It runs under that. Have the top hats all running to that one down there, if you can see it. It's down there, and then the bottom of the wastegates I have running together goes into this T here, which then this T comes out over here. This line here goes up to the turbo that would be sitting here. Or, I'm sorry, this line here goes to the line right off the top of the Mac valve, and this short little bit right here goes up to the turbo, which I have a 90-degree fitting on. I wanted to keep the lines as clean and simple as possible, so if there is leaks, I'll be able to see it. Another thing is, most people use plastic fittings. I don't trust those plastic fittings, so I always use brass just to be safe. You're already using rubber hose, which I use this thick silicone hose just to be extra safe. And I'm probably going to, as you can see here, I have a lot of heat wrap even on that just to be safe. I just don't want it to not work. Like I hate it. I went through that issue, so I take every precaution I can to make sure it does. So these are just nice little things that make sure it does. And now that that is done, we are over here doing some wiring. So the intercooler pipe I got, they accidentally put on a larger size IET, which I was like, hey guys, I have that. And they're like, no problem, we'll send you a new one, which is, again, awesome customer service from Powerhouse Racing. Thank you guys. So they went ahead and sent me the newer big size. The only problem with that is I had to remove my little jumper harness here, and I have to cut off the 1 or 2 of the pins here, you can see, because they use, on the newer style, they use a Deutsch connector. The old one uses like this GM AC Delco style. So I'm cutting off the pins right now, and I have to strip these wires and then repin it and then plug it in. Not really a big or hard job, but just something you have to do. So all you have to do is, again, cut the wires off here, take the 2 pins that are supplied in the kit, strip this down just enough to get the wires in, and if you're lucky enough to be like me, I had bought a little while ago one of the, oh goodness gracious, got wires everywhere, come on. One of these little crimping tools makes life so freaking easy. You just crimp it down, locks into place, and you're done. Pretty freaking cool little tool. It's like 50 or 60 bucks. It's a little pricey, I know, but there's really expensive. This is an iSwiss one, which is not the cheapest, but it works really freaking well. So now that we have the pins connected now, they're not perfect, you can see. They're not the prettiest way. I didn't see how they're connected there. Ugh, they're not going anywhere, but they're not as pretty as they should be, but it will work. Yeah. Well, there's going to be a lesson in all this, children, so don't do what I did. I got to order new pins now because apparently these pins are pull-through style pins, which I've never even heard of before. So every Deutsch connector, you just push them through. They have this little rubber stopper on the back, and they have these small circular pins, which are really nice and easy to use. Whatever these old school version for the old style sensor, like I had a new sensor before, I'm using an old school version now. They use these old Delphi whatever connectors, so the wire's got to be pulled through the sensor first. You got to crimp them on it, and then you pull them through, which in my opinion is kind of that is a shitty design. It's pretty poor design. I get why they do it, but it's pretty poor design. So yeah, now fuck me. So can't do anything with that, but hey, stupid is as stupid does. So I just want to show you guys, I don't hide the shit I do, or when I mess up, shit happens. You live and you learn, right? But I did go ahead and mock up the pipe over here. Don't mind, it's dirty as shit from my hand touching it. But you can see I have the sensor there, and I wanted it down there so it's out of the way. I had them cock it just ever so much so it can't hit the battery, and then the line comes out. Where's it at? Over here. Obviously my extension line comes out and it'll plug right into it. This is the original OEM one, which obviously we don't use anymore. I had Jose at Kaiser Motorsports make me an extension, which you guys see here, so I didn't have to cut up the original harness. If you butcher this one up, it's no big deal. If this gets messed up, get another one, plug it in. I didn't want to do that to the main harness, so thank you again, Jose. You the man. Well, since that didn't go as planned, what I decided to do was this. So my feed line here is a -4 feed line for the S369 here. It routes down under, which you guys can't even see down there, sadly. It's, damn it guys, I can't, it's just too dark back there, you can't even see it. But it's back right, doink, there. And the line runs under, have it go under the manifold, and I have this heat wrap around it. Like I put on everything. I run it the whole way down from here, the whole way back. Do I need to? Probably not, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. And then I'll put this on top and I'll caulk it like this so it's not over top of the hot housing. And this also keeps it from this line itself, this bare, like, so this is stainless steel under here. Then they put this black wrapping on it for heat protection, and then I put another heat protection on it just to be triple safe. But I'll caulk it like this so it doesn't hit the hot housing side. And I put the sleeve on it too because it's running underneath the manifold here, kind of like this vacuum line is going to be. And then I'm gonna actually pull this line down some too, use some zip ties or get some metal ties or do whatever, pull it down towards the chassis so it's not, right now it's literally resting on the manifold. And these heat coatings are good for 500 consistent or up to 2000 intermittent. So kind of puts me in a debacle, so I have to kind of pull it down. My last one was literally resting against the manifold for, God, 3 or 4 years and never had an issue. Now it started to burn through, like the actual black coating started to burn through, and you could see fiberglass, but it never gave me an issue. Once I took the coating off, the hose itself underneath looked brand new still. This one should be even safer just because this is on there. Hopefully that works. I'm not sure if you guys ever do that or not. I just have a big fear of oil fires and fuel fires. I've seen too many. I've seen issues that can come from it, and it's just not worth the risk to me. This is where I spend as much money as I can in proper heat coatings and all of that kind of stuff, just because the last thing you want to happen is your baby, your car that you put so much time and energy into, to burn down because of something silly, because your oil line got burned through because you have it resting against the manifold. Same thing with my drain here. I've got it heat wrapped here because now it's not even touching, and it's probably got about 1 inch of room once I have it all bolted up from the bottom runner here. And then I have a 45-degree down below to help caulk it out and out of the way too. But I put it on there again as a safety precaution. I'd rather have it than not have it and the manifold burn a hole through it. It starts spitting oil out. That oil get on the manifold. And yeah, I actually had, believe it or not, I had one time where my oil flange was actually not tightened down the whole way, and it was spitting oil out, and I could see smoke coming up. That almost cost me the motor at one time, or it cost me the car almost at one time. So don't make that mistake. All right, guys, sorry for just like rambling on there, but I'm very close to having it done. Powerhouse Racing should actually have the parts here shortly. Once they modify them, recoat them, get them back here, we'll get this thing fired up. It should only take us maybe a couple hours. I mean, everything's bolted up here. I want to put all the couplers on. I got the rest of the exhaust down underneath. So I mean, if I have another person here to help me, it should literally take us less than an hour to get all this all buttoned up and looking good. All right, guys, thank you very much for tuning in today. Do me that big favor. Go check out Instagram, Facebook, the website. You know what to do. Thank you guys very much, and I'll talk to you later. Peace.